Hey everyone, let me get the right screen. Okay, welcome to Language Hacks. This is something I shared at iNation, and I thought maybe it might help you for either if you want to learn a language or you want to support those students in your class who are language learning. Just a real quick word, average speed track. Languages have different speeds, and if you'll notice, Spanish is the fastest European language, so it is not a coincidence that you might have a hard time understanding it if you studied it in Spanish. And German, I want you to know is that German's the slowest, and English is a much slower language than Spanish as well. But then you get into it's a very depth. Um, it's a dense language, so it's dense in meaning. And so whether it's a slow, dense language or if it's a fast, rapid language like Spanish, people need processing time. So I want to make sure that you're aware of a couple things. YouTube has closed captioning and speed. And I want to just pop on here real quick. Okay, you'll notice YouTube. Sometimes you can click on a video. If it doesn't show YouTube, click on it and it will actually take you to the YouTube page. And so clicking on closed captioning, this was helping, this is in most of your videos nowadays, and it's to help with accessibility, language learning, not language learning. It helps with language learners for sure, but it's also for those hearing impaired people. But anyway, I just want to just point out it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then I also want to show you over here in the right hand bottom, you'll see settings just like you see on your phone. And if you go to playback speed, slow it down because I know Brain Pop is very popular in schools, but let me just tell you, with my students, whether it's my junior high students or my adult students, this Brain Pop they tune out, not because it's well, for the reason that it's too fast. They just can't process it. So they just look at the picture and they finally, little boy from France finally just said, and gave up, right? Okay, so make sure that you're aware of those two features. That'll help. Also, be aware that, again, whether you're using like algebra equations from Khan Academy, whether you're doing, some kind of gratitude, etc., practice, like if you have to do that for your classes, just slow it down. It's going to help people, and they're not even going to realize half the time that you've turned it down if you do to 75. Also be aware that YouTube has channels and subscriptions so that when you do find those things you like, you can subscribe. They're free. They help them, but they don't cost us anything. I have teachers all the time who are contacting me, asking me, you know, what they can do to practice language. And so these are great resources. So anyway, so here is Why Not Spanish. And if you click right down here below, you see Why Not Spanish, and then subscribed. You can see I'm already subscribed. You click on it, and the cool thing is it brings you up to all their playlists so that you can choose what you want to do. And also, if you look over to the left, and if you click, then you'll see that your subscriptions will show up right here. You can see some of the ones I've used. Elf Kids, Why Not Spanish, Learn English, Anywhere Math, etc. All kinds of things. So look for those subscriptions. Again, they help them and it helps you to find it again. But anyway, tons of language learning. Also, when you think of videos and stuff like that, you can see if you look in it for anything like Italian, etc. Like you can you can see here's Italian reading. It's Little Red Riding Hood. The one down at the bottom here is actually like Friends. Our sitcoms Friends. It's a language learning for Spanish, and it's pretty good, and they talk slower. Um, all right, so let's look at Google real quick. Probably need to speed up so I don't run out of time, but I'm going to show you a couple features. Again, if you have a student who's like in the 11th grade and they speak Arabic and they're coming to this country and they are in an American high school, it is overwhelming trying to function and do your credits, etc., all in English. So do you see this is quite a bit? So anyway, if you're in Google Chrome, again, tools to help them be able to read this in their own language, and then you have to teach them read it in their own language and then read it back in English, and then you can read it again in their own language. It's a strategy. But if they will right click in the space, and you'll see that it says translate. I had it so it would translate to Chinese for you, but you can pick whatever you want, okay? And you can choose languages, and there are lots of languages. Do you see that? Isn't that amazing? All right, so and then if you hit the refresh button, it puts it back in English. And so if you think about that hack, if you have something like News and Levels, this is a great website for, and what it's created for is just itty bitty little articles that are teeny tiny. I mean, this is about it really. And you can pick whatever level, excuse me, and then you can translate it like I was just telling you in Google Chrome, right click. And so you can practice French, German, whatever your language of choice is. Okay, I wanted to show you two, one feature that you just need to be aware of. Again, these are all tools. Is to help give you comprehensible input. You know, Stephen Krashen is the guru of ESL, language learning, etc. And, you know, they've got to understand if you just sit in a room and you have no idea what somebody's saying, you're not going to just absorb the language. It has to be comprehensible. So these tools are to help make it comprehensible so they can understand it. All right, so this guy is just going to show you this ain't your mama's Google Translate. You can see there's a camera feature, and it translates in real time. Basically, Google bought WordLens, and this is what it does. You can also snap a picture, like if you've got something like a novel, a page or something like that, or an article, then I'll often have my adults snap a picture. I'll show them how to do it. You can snap a picture on WordLens, and then it will read it, and then it will actually print it all up. So you have this whole page of text, and then it's side by side. So it's got like the English and it's got the Spanish. So it's a great resource to help it just again get that background of what are they talking about. So it's a great resource. Duolingo, if you're not familiar with Duolingo and you want to learn language personally, this is like a free Rosetta Stone. So you make it real manageable. Okay, one more thing before I run out of time. Music videos with lyrics. Again, just a great resource. So I want you to look at this. Look at this. And hopefully you can see, I don't know if anyone here knows French or not, but you can see if we play it, and with songs are so great. You can see it says Miraculous Ladybug. Wow, we didn't have to know any French to be able to see that cognate right there, right? And so anyway, students, if you show them to find songs that they like in the language that they're learning and teach them to slow it down, it will help them tremendously with inflections, etc. I don't think you can hear it. Maybe you can. Now, there's no way that I could even begin to sing this, right? Because I haven't ever studied French, but you can slow it down. And I do want to let you know this is one case where you could almost slow it down to 50 and show them that it enunciates every single sound. And if you don't know how to pronounce something, that's not a bad thing. It's a resource. Okay, so I think I've covered everything that I want to cover. So I hope this helps. Again, language hacks to help with comprehensible input, so your students can learn to do these individually on their own, and just to accelerate their comprehension and their language learning. So anyway, good luck.